What is going on, everybody? Todd here from the Precipice Podcast Network. Tonight we are delving back into the world of darkness. We are going to have a great time. The Coterie is all together, all ready for this. And needless to say, this is going to be a fun night. So for you guys just joining us, this is episode 2, Noddist Your Head, joining the game tonight. From the left to the right, Bran Cavall, Clan Gangrel, played by DorkyRae.
Cavall. Bran Cavall.
You and your Welsh. Also, we have Percival Ward, because I refuse to call him Percy, of Clan Ventru, played by itsAnubus.
How's it going, everyone?
Then, of course, we have the Moriador herself, Evelyn Bardot, Clan Toreador, played by Moriarty Time.
Hello.
And it's not a party until things are all set. And of course, we're talking about Bethany Manchester from the Setite Ministry, played by Thrabalen.
Hello all, good evening, good night, konbanwa, how are you? And it's good to be here.
It's kind of weird for me not to add of Thrabalen Gaming on there.
I could feel you withholding doing that.
Yeah. But anyway, so the last time we met for a game was December 30th. So it has been a good bit of time that's taken place. For those just joining in and wondering how this delay affects the game, our game runs in relatively real time, in the sense of tonight in real life is tonight in the game. There may be some exclusions here or there, but those will be called out. We're going to have a great time. I speak for everybody involved when I say this. So let's get everybody ready and we'll get right into this. Because I know everybody's been chomping at the bit, going like, when are we doing another game? So, over the last few weeks, things in Nashville have been relatively silent. No new murders, or at least none that could be linked to this current crime that's being investigated by our Coterie here. It's been so quiet that the Coterie's kind of gone and done their own little things. Evelyn's been trying to communicate as much as possible with the other members. They've been using a lot of group chats and such. Tonight is no different. Not too long ago, a message was sent out where everybody was deciding on going to visit Percy's compound, Percival's compound, on the outskirts of Nashville, a place that is relatively safe, very, very reinforced. Evelyn did bring Caden with her, a little ghoulified corgi, because there's been nothing of note. Plus, it gets the little guy out so he can stretch his legs, touch his good little legs a little bit. So the group meets out in front of Percy's compound. And that's where we're starting things off. The group makes it to the entrance, the gated entrance of this compound, one by one. Evelyn, of course, is there second, because Bran and Delwyn, that is correct. I didn't butcher the pronunciation. We're just in the area, because they have no better place to be. So, of course, they made it there first. Evelyn, with Caden, makes it next. And lastly is Bethany. They're standing there at the gate. And how do you guys want to proceed?
So, how do you think we get into this thing?
Knock.
Is there? I'm assuming there's a door we can knock on, but I think we're behind gates. So, I'm assuming there's a little speaker box somewhere.
Yes, there is.
I wonder what this button does. Push.
There's a
Yes.
Go on, fearless storyteller.
Oh, I was gonna say that you push the button and there is the crackling static of the speaker, kind of like a buzz.
So, are we gonna stand out here all night, or are you gonna let us in?
How long have you guys been out there?
I don't know how long Braun's been out here, but I've been out here a couple minutes.
Alright, give me just a second. And Percy will go hit the button that actually makes the gate swing open.
The gate
Takes about 30 seconds.
yeah. So the gate takes about 30 seconds. Thank you. To kind of open. It doesn't kind of swing open as opposed to glides along a track.
Mm-hmm.
And now that the Coterie's on the grounds, I'm assuming they head towards the door, which Percy is taking his sweet ass time to open for them, or have a servant, if Percy has servants, do it for him.
No servants. Percy's just pretty deep in the house at the moment.
Hashtag
It's gonna
bad
take him a
adventure.
minute.
So while the Coterie waits for Percy to emerge from his chambers, a small buzz comes through Evelyn's phone.
Oh, now what?
That's how prepared I was.
Where's it at, storyteller? I'm waiting for my text, man.
I gotta write these on the fly.
Type.
Type.
Oh, God, I love it.
Now it sounds like he's using Braun's phone with the flip phone and letter by letter.
Well, I mean, the sender doesn't isn't using Blush of Life right now, so can't really use a touchscreen.
So, how long do you think will be? Since I am being requested to be picked up.
I'm not the one who arranged the meeting, so...
Fair.
Not
I mean, to be
exactly.
honest, we're just going to go over the same old map with the same old information.
This was your idea in the first place, so...
I know, and then stuff.
Everybody else's phone buzzes now as well.
Bran flips open his phone.
I suppose we could all go. Have the car pick us up at the whatever the nearest place of business is.
About this time that the door opens.
So, did you get the same text as us?
Finally gracing us with your present.
Look, it's a big house.
I see that.
You should all know that.
And you're also very slow.
And you don't move very fast.
Just slow.
So, am I going to go get our guest of honor by myself, or is anyone going to come with me?
I'll come along.
Sure, why not?
What about you, Percy?
Suppose we're not doing anything useful at the moment, so sure, why not?
Alright, let's go walk to the nearest business and catch that ride.
So Percy's compound is a little bit out of city limits. So the closest business is about a 10-minute walk.
I have all the time in the world, almost. I have until sunup. 10 minutes is nothing.
I don't mind walking.
Lovely that we've come all this way just to walk, but...
Percy, before we go, do you mind if I leave Caden here?
That's fine.
I can probably come get him tomorrow at the very latest if we're out the rest of the evening.
Bastet's lounging in the library somewhere, as
Bastet?
far as I know.
I'm assuming we've met your cat already.
Yes.
Can I go love on him before we go?
I mean, if you can find her, go for it. Like I said, she's in the library somewhere.
Ugh, never mind. Hopefully he won't steal any of Bastet's food. Water should be okay.
I'm gonna keep doing with me.
Good plan.
You and Stiz.
So as the group leaves the compound that they were going to just hang out at, basically, they notice a slight drizzle coming down from the night sky. They walk for about 15 minutes because the storyteller doesn't know how to estimate time properly. Until they get to a business. There is another message texted. This is another message from Damien saying, so am I sending somebody to pick you guys up?
I'm going to text back and say yes and text the address of where we are at.
He sends a smiley face emoji, a thumbs up emoji, and that's all.
Do Flip phones use emojis? Probably not.
No.
Dang. Just know that if Bran had the ability to send emojis, he'd send a vomit emoji.
So basically, for a flip phone, and I remember because I had one not too long ago,
Years.
it was just basically like squares, just blank squares on the screen.
Yep.
Oh, so I'm not even seeing the emojis. Cool.
Nope.
Oh, that works so much better.
So while they stand around waiting for this this ride to pick them up,
It's suspicious nothing's happened in about a couple months, huh?
Oh, plenty has happened, just not much we can do. Not much involving us.
Fair, I suppose.
I mean, you're the
But,
one that said that they probably heard about people being suspicious about it. And so
Yeah,
True.
but this
laying
has been
low.
a bit too quiet considering how frequent they were before people
Well,
were looking into this.
fair enough.
so after a couple minutes, a gray van pulls up in front. There are no windows except for the driver's side, passenger side, and the windshield. The side of the van opens up, and a crash voice just says, "Get in."
Oh, great, a pedo van.
Well, I suppose this is for us.
Lovely.
It would appear so.
Come along, let's get our free candy.
Really, Bethany? Really?
I don't have all fucking night.
We're coming, we're coming. Okay, everybody in first. I'll go in last. Anybody in shotgun?
Bran sends the growling wolf in first. and then follows after. Not looking too particularly pleased himself, but yeah.
Bethany makes an after-you gesture to Percy. The sweeping of the arms.
Percy will just shake his head and get in.
Then Bethany will follow.
Alright, I'll clamber on in then.
And this entire time, the wolf is doing the whole snarling, baring of the teeth, like, yeah, no, you try anything, your throat is getting, like, ripped out by vicious wolf teeth thing.
Not planning anything. I was just told to pick up a group. Didn't know there was going to be a wolf with them.
So you pick us up in a pedo van.
It's less suspicious than what I normally drive. Plus, there's 5 of you.
I'm always curious to know what you normally drive.
Mm.
Well, I couldn't have you all get into the back of my my Volkswagen.
Volkswagen Beetle or Volkswagen van? Because van would fit 5.
Oh, it's a yellow Beetle.
I'm sure I could have sat on somebody's lap.
You're a little big to be driving a Beetle, don't you think?
It's less suspicious. Nobody looks twice at a Volkswagen Beetle, especially one from the 70s.
Of course.
But you
because
just
they're
said
low.
that a pedo van is less suspicious than a beetle. But then you just go and say that your beetle is less suspicious.
I can't fit 5 of you in my Beetle.
Ugh.
Well, too bad we all didn't go to clown school.
Alright. You know who you're meeting?
Not a clue, but I don't even know where we're going. I'm assuming you have all the answers, hopefully.
Oh, you're in for a fun ride then.
I
Yeah.
have an idea of what we're meeting.
He hits a button on the console and the door slides shut. What do you mean, what you're meeting? And he starts
Centricity.
and he starts driving into the night. Obviously, he filled you in on who you're meeting. He doesn't just send anybody to meet them.
Well, he did tell me that it was an associate of his.
That's one way of putting it.
So it would be another way.
Better way that I look at it is a necessary evil. That's how I feel about who you're meeting.
Oh, one of those, what is it? Too weird to live, too rare to die kind of a deals?
No, not really, because, I mean, he died once already.
Well, when you look at it properly, all evil is really necessary, wouldn't you say?
I'd-
After all, without evil, there's no good to compare it to, wouldn't Rest?
It's a very valid point.
I don't think this ride was meant to be a philosophy lesson, Bethany.
But it is so
I think
nice
everything
to have...
with
But it is so nice to have somebody finally understand my point of view on things.
I think everything with Bethany is philosophy, if we're going to be completely honest.
Life not examined by means of philosophy is a life not lived.
I will tell you one thing. Do not speak word of this meeting with any of your other friends, or allies, or associates.
Why?
Who you're meeting has made a lot of enemies. Not because of who they are. It's because of who they used to work with.
Uh-huh. I'll keep that in mind.
So how new are all you licks?
I think I'm the newest.
Then no matter what I said or say pertaining to them, it really wouldn't strike much of a chord with you.
I've been around enough to know that the type of person we are meeting is different. And not always in a good way.
No, that's everybody, though. Everybody's got their own differences.
none quite like them.
You must be talking about the ones that like to hit people with fish, then. Because not all of them are like that.
Like, literally hit people with fish?
Yes, like literally hit people with fish.
Are we in a Monty Python sketch?
No.
No.
Uh-huh.
We're going to meet a Malkavian. They're eccentric.
They can
to
be.
an extreme.
They can be. Not all of them are. Some of them are, though.
Well, I'm assuming there's a reason for the eccentricity.
Well, part of it comes down to their cursed blood. The other part of it comes to the rumors and innuendo that they only embrace those that themselves have some kind of mental illness. But at the same time, that is not the reason that you should be wary about speaking about meeting them. The old one would know if I just said one word.
And what's that?
Sabbat.
Uh-huh.
Well then.
You see, I can give you children a little bit of a history lesson. Before the power vacuum that is the current city, this once laid claim as a domain of Sabbat. And then one day they just packed up and left. Really interesting. Some say they went out to the Middle East to fight some Gehenna war. Some say that they're hunting antediluvian. And of course now, after the week of nightmares and all of that, you know that the antediluvians are more than just a mere myth. Or do you not?
I do.
I'm sorry, Anta what?
Antediluvian. You are familiar with our forefather, correct? Familiar of him. Nobody's familiar with him. And by that I mean Cain.
Well, yes, I understand that.
Cain sired 3. And those 3 sired others. Those others, that third generation, those are the antediluvians. Some say they pull all the strings. Strings the Sabbat don't want pulled. Up until the week of nightmares, the Camarilla didn't believe in antediluvians, thinking that they were just a myth. Some Anarchs believed, but they kept it quiet because it wasn't something to speak of. But the Sabbat believed. whether it was the Lasombra, the Zamitzi, slaying their antediluvian, or so they thought, so they think. And now they're out there, as they would call it, the swords of Cain, striking down this third generation, most likely to diablerize and attempt to gain more power. But some vamps that strong, that old, they would just wear them like meat suits. All they would do.
Well, that's quite the history lesson there.
It's a brief history.
Very brief from the sounds of it.
Well, Week of Nightmares was 15 years ago or so. I forget. In my old age.
No, you hit it right about on the mark.
Good to know that I'm not losing my faculties.
Oh, so is that what I get to look forward to as I get older?
I wouldn't say that. That's more of a human problem.
We're better at compartmentalizing and accessing those compartments when the time is necessary.
So, where exactly are we meeting this associate?
As you say that, the vehicle is moving towards some warehouses. And he just suddenly slams on the brakes. Here.
Do we get a ride back to wherever? Is he coming into the vehicle with us, or do we just get left behind and potentially murdered?
If we're to be potentially murdered, the thing is that we have much, much worse things to look forward to than a swift final death.
You're a
And
lovely
no
beacon of
reason-
hope.
And no reason to expect an honest answer to that question.
Also fair.
My job was only to get you here.
Well, it'll certainly be fun getting back then. From the sounds of it, you're probably leaving.
Perhaps. It's one way of putting it.
Well, I guess I'll get out first, since I was last to get in.
He hits the
This
button on the console, opening the side door.
Super slick.
So once everybody's out of the van, Doan included,
Percy's gonna be the last one out, and before getting out, he's gonna
So we have to like
ask-
climb over you.
No. Percy can just move up to the front real quick. But Percy's gonna ask the driver, so now that you have asked the question first, how long have you been around? Because it has to have been longer than 15, 20 years.
Long enough. Long enough to see 2 world wars.
Fair enough.
Long enough to see the Civil War. And he just kind of stares blankly through the windshield.
Well, Percy, you coming or what?
Take it easy and don't let the true death catch you. Percy's gonna follow the rest of the group.
Percy out of the vehicle, the van door slides closed again. The engine revs. Peeling off almost like as if it were on the line. The van smashes into the side of one of the warehouses, bursting in flames.
Well, I guess, that's a thing.
Percy, if you have any well-wishings for us, please keep them to yourself.
Please and thank you. I'm gonna text Damien and go, your driver just exploded himself.
Damien texts back, my driver's waiting for you. Where are you guys?
This is lovely.
Oh, this isn't good.
The rest of us aren't getting that text, right? Or is
No,
that
that's just
the group message?
That's just to
Evie?
Evelyn, yeah.
Okay.
Do I know whereabouts in town we are?
You have no fucking clue.
No,
Do
we're
I know
where?
whereabouts in town we are?
Do you know what set of warehouses in Nashville we are?
Percy's just gonna pull out his smartphone and look at his GPS.
As who I am and who I hang out with, do I have any clue, roughly, whereabout we might be?
You're not 100% sure,
Okay.
but you do know that it is one of the many gang territories in Nashville.
Okay.
Do I see any, like, name of the warehouse area, anything? Any kind of marker?
You do see a number on a few of the buildings, but the buildings themselves, the warehouses, are kind of decrepit. So the paintings, all the graffiti and the numbers painted on there, it is kind of hard to distinguish which one is which.
I mean, the other three of us don't know that we're not where Damien wants us yet.
Nope.
No.
Because we have not been told that yet. Okay.
So I'm going to text back warehouses, graffiti, that's all I know. Murderco Warehousing, a subsidiary of Death Corporation.
So I know I'm in a gang area. Is it a gang? Would it be gang area that, like, words? I swear I know how to use them. Like, as far as, is it a gang that I'm familiar with?
No.
Or is it... No, okay.
No. No, it's not a gang area. It's not a gang you're familiar with.
Okay, so, like, not even, like, enemy gang territory, at the very least.
I would like to do I have Sense the Unseen? think I have Sense the Unseen. Why is this sheet so complicated? Where are my things? There we go. I want to do Sense the Unseen. Pretty please.
All right. So, yeah, just roll for that.
Do I roll where it says details or power 1?
Power 1.
No modifiers?
No modifiers, no. Okay, so you sense the presence of another being.
Can I tell what it is?
It seems to be humanoid.
Helpful. Okay, so I can safely assume that probably wasn't the driver we were supposed to have. We are not where we're supposed to be, and there's something nearby.
From the darkness, you just hear...
Is that you telling us, or is that...
That's me telling you guys.
Okay, so that is Evie talking. Just
yes,
making sure.
From the darkness, you do hear a voice say, "You're exactly where you're supposed to be."
Well, come on out then. Don't be shy.
I have to be. I'm not well liked. Past affiliations have caused me to be very self-conscious. Who I speak with, who I meet with, who I talk to, and who sees me.
Well, then can you tell us who you are?
Having been in the area for the past, 30 years or so as an Embraced, would Percy have any idea, based on voice alone,
No.
who this might be?
No.
Okay.
Okay, can I activate Eyes of the Beast and see, to see through the darkness? It says that it's the cost is free. That's my level 1 protean.
Let's see, really quick.
Page 269 of the 5th edition manual, if you're looking.
You could use it.
Okay.
It's not going to help you, though.
Okay. It wouldn't help me see
No.
what's going on here?
No.
Okay. Well,
So how smart?
I don't necessarily know that yet.
So how smart would it be for me to start walking towards where I know the humanoid is?
That's entirely your call.
Yeah, but I also don't want to die tonight.
Entirely your call.
I very understand that.
He's never going to answer that question.
Fair. But I know where they're at, basically. So I could potentially go towards them.
I can safely assume here that you're the one that set up this little meeting.
You could say that, yes. I may have used a pawn of the Camarilla to get you here. Wasn't always a pawn, though. Never. Always ambitions. Ambitions to be king.
Are you talking about Damien?
Oh. So you know the Ripper himself.
I'm sorry, the what?
No matter.
Unfortunately, yes, we are acquainted with him.
What do you know of our old friend Damien?
That depends on what you want to know.
From behind Evelyn, a man is now standing, almost out of nowhere. He takes a nice long sniff. A child of his. Interesting.
And how do you know that?
How close is this dude to Evelyn?
Like sniffing her neck.
I mean, he just smelled me. So.
Bran moves up and tries to shove himself between dude and Evelyn.
I'm gonna put my hand up towards Bran and go, wait. It's okay.
Bethany takes a step back from the group.
That's fair.
Self-preservation!
Percival just stands there. He's now looking in the direction sideways at the manifestation, but not moving.
You smell of him. Very deep smell of him.
That's almost disconcerting.
I could have uses for you. Of course, I have to worry about you going back to him and telling him all of this, but where are my manners? You may call me Liefeld.
And you're the one that Damien wanted us to meet.
Probably. Maybe. I mean, I'm one of the people that knows the true him. Even without this cursed Malkavian blood, I know of him more than any of the city's kindred could ever know. From London to Chicago to San Diego and San Francisco to Beijing, Constantinople, Denmark, the whole area. New York,
Sounds like you've
Miami.
been with them a while.
He's not a very nice person.
Oh.
He's one of the reasons I walk so funny. And he points down at his feet. And you see that his left shoe is on his right foot, and his right shoe is on his left foot.
Oh, so we can see the guy now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Also, it's the same guy that's talking that was... It's not a different person that...
Oh, it's the same. It's the same guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was a different person that showed up and was, talking to the person that was in the dark. I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
No, this was the person in the dark.
Gotcha. I
to
misunderstood.
be fair, Liefeld, I knew Damien was an asshole the moment I met him.
You're too kind. You're too kind of him.
And few people are truly nice people to begin with.
I think I'm nice people.
Artemis, you're not people anymore.
Yes,
You're
I am.
Cainite.
Still technically a people.
A lot of learning to do. Little one. Lot of learning.
I will beg to say that I, too, am nice people. I am not proud of all the things that I've done, but I had very little choice. Very little indeed.
So I take it he tortured you at one point.
Torture would have been the nicest way of putting it.
It looks like Damien took the shoes on the other foot a little too literally with Liefeld here.
Yeah. The Ventru is right. He did it to a lot of people. I was the lucky one.
Lucky in terms that you lived.
Oh, you think that he did this to Kine? No. He knows us kindred can heal pretty quickly, though his celerity is a little quicker than our healing. So as we try to mend our flesh, he would do a little rearrange and try to make us his next masterpiece, something that we can't have happen to anyone else.
Well then, I would agree.
You'd think someone of his blood would not be so understanding, but you are. Indeed, you are. Very, very understanding. You hate him as much as we do. And by we, I don't mean me and the other voices that bounce around my head, but I'm speaking of all those that have been a victim of his.
I don't know.
It seems like your mind is very clouded, young one. Very clouded indeed. Please, let's go inside. You'll catch a death in this rain. Of course, you don't have to worry about catching a death from mere water, after all. We're all kindred here. But still, the smell of wet wolf is never pleasing.
So, after you.
So Liefeld proceeds forward towards the second warehouse, which looks like has been burned out. There's broken windows and such. He casually just opens a door. It's not locked, it just kind of swings there. No real latch, like it had been busted down at some point. Please, come in.
Bethany just strolls through the door.
I'm gonna follow Bethany in.
Following.
Percy will bring up the rear.
So let me guess. Damien put your little group together, didn't he?
He might have.
The answer is yes.
That's what I thought. There's no point lying to me, child. Unless you're trying to protect him.
No?
Oh, how adorable. How Tory-adorable. You're confusing yourself. Looking at... Am I clouded by my judgment of him? Am I not? Is something weird going on? Either you're really new to this and he has very potent blood. Something indeed he does. Or perhaps you just have such a flaw to your person. Even in these nights you are a servant of his.
Servant's such a strong word.
If he were to show up right now and told you to do something, you would do so on bended knee. This I smell on you.
What else do you sense?
I sense even without a beating of his, you could go maybe another year as a thrall to his wills. But I digress. Yes, indeed, I did have you brought here. Of course, Damien was going to send you here anyway. I'm just happy that I still know people that know how to interfere and intercept instructions.
So that was your guy that drove into the side of the warehouse and...
Oh no, it wasn't my guy. It was one of his, not the one that was sent to pick you up, but one of his anyway. They were given a mercy.
I don't know if dying by ball of fire is a mercy, but, you know.
It is much kinder than what Damien would do just because he was bored. You've heard of his all-night dance parties, have you not? The ones where he just, I don't know, gets a whole bunch of kind together and makes them dance until they can no longer dance anymore. Exhausted, they crumple into heaps, expiring from exhaustion. No control of their own. Most curious.
Can't say I have heard of that.
Then you must really be new.
Of all the things The one you couldn't detect, really?
I'm just surprised he hasn't invited you to watch one of these all-night dance extravaganzas that he likes to put on.
Artemis here doesn't really strike me as much of a party goer.
No, you have no idea.
As for those dance parties, yeah, I've heard of them. Unpleasant is the best word that I can use that is also the most tame.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So you would agree that having one of his thralls dominated into serving another, only to sacrifice themselves once their job was done, is very fitting, and a mercy nonetheless.
It's a mercy for him, yes, especially considering how long he'd been around.
Yeah.
And probably under Damien's thumb the entire time.
So is this what you brought us out here for? To instill the fear of the boogeyman in me and then potentially lead me to a fiery death?
Oh, no, I don't plan a fiery final death for any of you. I want to help you.
To help how?
His nights are waning. Dare I say this may be his final nights as we progress further and further into this year. There's many things about this Damien that people are turning a blind eye to.
Such as?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Besides his murder art and his love for skinning flesh from bone just for sheer giggles, he also has a lot of bodies to his name.
Any of those happen to be the ones that have been popping up around town up until recently?
That I do not know. I came here because I had heard word of kindred-style murders. Based on that, I assume that either one of the ToddEvf got reckless, or Damien was in town. Not that this matches his MO exactly.
What do you mean by that?
Well, he's had people in the past send out false flags. And considering there's a power vacuum here, and everyone in Kindred society knows how much the Camarilla want Nashville, he'll do whatever little dirty trick he can to get it. There was another, though, that I was supposed to meet with, but she has gone missing.
Who?
She is a Bruja. Works at a shelter.
Would her name happen to be Lydia?
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Might explain the text we got earlier from Lydia's number.
Text? Huh. Most curious. What did this text message read?
New phone, who dis?
You know how...
Whereas previously, she had responded perfectly well and knew who we were.
You know how funny it is to hear a Ventru of all people go, who dis? It delights me.
It pains me to no end.
Well, you could have let one of your Coterie tell me, but you decided to do it yourself. So I applaud you, because you've...
He is so fond of speaking.
Yeah, Ventru are like that. They like to talk a lot. They usually don't have anything interesting to say, though. At least that's my experience. I do have a little something for you, though. A little fact that people haven't been talking about when it comes to these murders.
Well, go on.
If you cross-reference every location that these murders have taken place, you'll notice a very distinct tag on one of the nearby walls, usually right where they would find the body. Seems innocuous enough, sometimes blended into other art, sometimes not, but the next body that shows up, you'll know what I'm talking about, because there will be more bodies. There have been more bodies. Or should I say, there have been more murders. Not all murders leave bodies, though. Hence why this last month has been so quiet.
I'd been wondering about that.
It's very hard to make a body out of ash.
Very, very true.
So what, they're being embraced now?
Oh no.
No, they're killing us.
Oh, great. Just great.
Yeah. This reminds me of something that happened back in the 1960s. Very similar ploy. The Sabbat was pushing into an area of Texas. One of the Sabbat, I don't remember who. Of course, this was passed to me secondhand. Would embrace young child and let them frenzy, much like they would with the shovelheads anyway. You know, mass embrace and then just turn the child loose. Usually they wouldn't last more than a week, but they would do some damage. And they would threaten the Camarella's precious masquerade. Camarella would have to do their best part to save face. considering those children were usually of clans very prominent in the Camarilla. Well, at the time, anyway. You had Bruja, you had Gangrel, you had Toreador, and a couple Ventru even. Though the Ventru ones were fun. They were really interesting. Not knowing what they could or couldn't feed from. Feeding aimlessly on homeless people, only to realize the blood was so repugnant to them, and then blood fountains everywhere. It was kind of a sight. Every now and then you'll run into a Ventru that doesn't know that their more refined palate requires such refined blood. Or a new vampire going and trying to live their old life and going to a restaurant and having a French fry, realizing how bad of an idea that was after just one fry and everything comes up. It is quite hilarious. It's one of the tricks I would pull on the new blood, but that's just me. Nothing too damning. Usually it was just the have a thin blood there and eat food, have them eat food, and they go, oh yeah, look, it's no big deal. And then the new little child will have a French fry, and then it's a blood geyser everywhere. Really hilarious. Where was I?
Telling us about the tag that's near the place where the bodies have been found.
Oh, yes, the tag. No, I have a sketch of it somewhere. He proceeds to rifle through all the pouches he has around his waist, looking for a little scrap of paper. He cannot find it in those, so he starts looking at looking through all the pouches on the two bandoliers around, off of his shoulders.
Percy is very deliberately not looking at the pouches.
I'm also making sure not to look at the pouches.
Ah, there it is. He has the little paper in his hand, and he just kind of turns it around and holds it up, and it looks like an L that is bleeding from the base in an old English font. This is what's been popping up all throughout town. Most people are just writing it off as a new gang in the area. Or unfinished graffiti. But it seems too convenient. And also the fact that nobody is really putting two and two together with these.
Do I recognize much, like, having...
So from your gang ties, you have seen that tag before.
Okay.
Usually as the gang you're affiliated with tags over it.
Okay. I was about to say.
Because they see it as somebody trying to encroach. They see it as somebody trying to encroach on their turf.
Okay.
So do you know where we can find these tags?
Well, I just said earlier, with around the location of the bodies. That being said, a lot of them are in areas that I am familiar with.
Do you want to keep an eye out and mark a map? Let us know where you find them when you're out and about.
Can.
Perhaps.
Also, considering since there aren't any bodies really showing up and it's just ash piles, yeah.
Perhaps
Probably
you could have your.
yeah.
Perhaps you could have your boys look into it. Young Gangrel.
Sure. And he's gonna kind of look. Doesn't like the idea that this guy knows that he has boys, but sure, yeah. He's aware that he seems to know a lot of things, but doesn't like that.
Plus, Artemis, we already have a map of where we can find all of these tags.
Okay, but if Bran is the one that's going to be going out to find the tags, and he doesn't have a smartphone to update you with where they are, we might have to go the old school way about it and just mark it down on a map and then get it to you.
And like she said, again, ash, bodies. Yeah. I understand where it's coming from now.
So I think maybe I should just do a small little round table here. And give everybody... Well, I've already given my knowledge of the Gangrel. And obviously of the Toreador. And I wonder if Yulia is, pleased to know that you're running with the Anarchs now.
Yulia can shove it so far up her ass it comes out her eyes.
Oh, that is adorable. Ah, it's always fun watching the infighting between the Ventru. Such a great time. And then our serpentine friend.
Bethany actually gives a slight curtsy at that.
It's fun that you and your clan have no real direct ties to the Camarilla. Nor really the Sabbat. I mean, there's some here and there in both sects, but you mostly stayed independent. Most interesting.
We tend to keep to ourselves.
That's one way of putting it. You do now. Back then, it was all about purveying vice for all of the kind and kindred that you came across.
One has to have their fun.
Oh yes, absolutely. Of course, back then, you all just worshipped who you saw as your, as the original vampire. Of course, I'm talking about Suket, or Set, no matter how you want to call him. You are an interesting one, young in blood, but wise beyond your years. You've been spending time with the preacher, haven't you?
Indeed I have.
Yeah.
As you no doubt have discovered on your own, you know a good deal about us, which is a wise choice for someone looking to meet with others.
Oh, absolutely. She has a nice herd. Probably easy for you to get your meal there, and she allows it. Because she's got a soft spot for those that are left, I wouldn't say sireless, because your sire still exists, but were kind of abandoned by them, much like she was when her sire decided that he no longer needed to be around.
I do enjoy the company.
Yes. Though, I have a feeling that things may be changing in that regard sooner rather than later. Not by my hand, oh no. That would go against my purposes. I have no grudge with the preacher. I have no grudge. But I know those who do.
I do not suppose it would be within your purview to give me information of such.
The Camarilla is not very fond of her. Mostly because she takes up precious real estate that they could be using.
It also doesn't really help that she's very close to violating the masquerade.
How is she close?
The night sermons. Only having night sermons.
Oh no, she only does the night sermons. There's other services that take place at that church. It says so on the sign. But anyway, I know nothing from me will befall you and yours. Whether they're a Setite preacher or a fiancé that was left behind after an embrace. He's still looking, you know. Still looking, hoping to find.
Why is it not showing? Okay, it's still showing me as muted. Okay. Do you know how close he is?
Last I remember, I would probably say Louisiana? Maybe?
How do you know? How do you know who he is and where he's been and that he's looking?
Well, the last time I was in Louisiana, I remember seeing a missing poster being put up by a man, and it wore your face. The poster, not the man. That would be creepy.
That
and
would be a
very
little strange,
Damien
yes.
of him.
Yeah, he's very much not him.
But he is out there. He is looking.
Doesn't surprise me. Oh, no. Mm-mm.
No what?
Louisiana, though, how... Why Louisiana? I haven't been there.
Well, maybe he just figured the beignets were really good there. Who knows? Better than Disneyland. More authentic.
Oh, I would imagine so. That's kind of what I've heard.
Kind of what you've heard. So you are familiar with the ones at Disneyland, then?
I might be.
You might be. Okay. Because the way I see things, if I was following somebody who has a history with Disney, as you've just alluded to, I would say if he went there because of beignets, that links there. But then that also links to Kissimmee, Florida, which is probably where he was headed in such a hurry.
Oh, that's a slight relief then.
Or was it Knoxville? I get confused. I get confused sometimes. All I know is he was putting up posters in a hurry. Then his phone buzzed. He said, "What? What do you mean? Are you sure?" Then quickly stopped putting up posters, got into his rental car, and just drove off.
Huh. That's not good news then. Well, hopefully he isn't here.
Well, maybe, maybe not. I know I haven't seen him in town, but then again, I've only been in town a few nights. Let that prick know I came in today, which is total bullshit because I've been here since last Saturday, so I had to catch the New Japan show. It was quite the sight. Did you go?
We did. Front row seats.
Yeah. It was a great time. Not often they come to the East Coast or Midwest or whatever, but it was worth it. Wish they had better talent on the show, but that's just me. They could have really used with the sanguine tornado, as he likes to be called.
So you mentioned Lydia was missing.
Yes. So I was supposed to meet with her last night, and she has not answered my texts or my phone calls. I've sent people out looking for her, mostly dominated, much like that poor fool that drove the van into the building. But neither hide nor hair of her. I even checked the shelter she works.
Haven't seen her?
They hadn't seen her in at least 48 hours.
Shit. Do you know where she might have stayed?
Well, she usually stayed above a gun shop, but even that place is cleared out. And by cleared out, I mean it. The other night, the big 3-alarm fire. Yeah, that was that place.
Definitely not good news.
No, not at all. But one thing I will say about your darling Lydia is she is resourceful and more valuable alive than, well, finally dead.
Anything else we need to know before I'm assuming we should part soon?
Yes, yeah, that's probably a good idea. You guys have been here far too long. What I will say, simply put, is, well, I would probably check out Cavalier Cemetery. You might be able to get a little bit more information there. One of the locals. Be ready to bargain, though, of course.
Bargain with what?
I don't know what the nasty bastard would want, but just be ready to bargain. He trades in info.
So the usual boon for a boon.
Kind of, probably, maybe. I don't know. He's weird.
What sorts of weird are we talking about here?
Like the
This coming from Malkavian?
Now,
Very.
don't be insulting. Please continue.
the ugly kind of weird. Like the I cannot be out in public at all, or else people wonder what happened to my face and how did my neck throw it up.
Sounds like a Nosferatu.
You are a smart one.
I try.
So I wasn't necessarily wrong. Coming from a Malkavian. Very weird.
And you can stop being insulting.
Before you
I'm not very sure he can.
before you depart, my mistake, may I please have a moment with the Toreador? 5
counts.
6, 12, 18. Numbers.
Well, you heard him. I'll meet you guys outside.
If you say so. We'll be waiting.
Well, if you hear screaming, run back in. But I'll be right out.
Do you want me to leave doing?
Is it okay if the wolf stays?
I would prefer not. Makes me a little uneasy.
I'll be right out, I promise.
Alright. Brana will go ahead and leave with the wolf.
Percy's gonna just walk away.
Bethany's going to follow close behind.
Are we alone enough to your liking now?
It's not to my liking, it's more towards yours. Because there's a few things I wanted to say and almost did, but I don't think your friends would have taken kindly to it. I mean, I may have alluded to a few things. Distasteful acts, like, I don't know, blood bonds that sound familiar to you?
I guess.
That's how I smelled him on you. You have a very strong bond with him. He says the word, and you do as he pleases. Whether you want to or not. Very unhealthy relationship. Now, there are options. And you wouldn't owe me anything. Option 1, you lock yourself up somewhere really far away. Somewhere he can't get near you or communicate with you. You ride that out. Not a fun experience. Not a fun experience at all. There's many that try that route. It's not pleasant for them. Most of his children go through it. So there's that.
You mean there's others that aren't bonded with him anymore?
A few. There's a couple that are still going through, shall I say, withdrawals of him.
How many do you know?
How many that are free or how many that are going through withdrawals?
How many are free?
4. With one more going through withdrawals. So, that's one of your options. Because for you to do what needs to be done, you can't be bound to him. He'll stop you at every chance he gets.
Stop me from what?
From ending him. Ending his circle of misery and torture and death. He'll have you be the one that pulls the trigger. Maybe. That darling fiancé, or fiance, my mistake, it is a male, that is looking for you. Or Lydia. Or maybe a Setite preacher. Or maybe the little pupper you have.
You know far too much for only being in town for just a couple days.
There's an old saying. Damn that Malkavian insight. Plus, I got people. And, to be fair, do you honestly think that when I took one of his ghouls to do my little delivery assignment, I didn't pump him for information first? Of course I did. Because if there's one thing I know about Damien, and I've known this for 40 years, when he is kind of on the winning side of things, or he seems that he's on the winning side of things, he gets overly confident. And when he gets overly confident, he gets very fucking chatty. Because that's the kind of person he is. You don't disagree with that.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, he likes to talk and talk and talk. Yeah. I remember when he did my little foot thing here. He went on and on about a bunch of ladies of the evening that he had taken care of over in London in the 1800s and such. Maybe.
What, like Jack the Ripper?
Maybe. I didn't get an exact location, but I would assume maybe We didn't do it for any good reason besides it was fun. That's the kind of bastard he is. As I said, your first option is to isolate yourself and go through withdrawal. Not a fun experience.
I wouldn't know where to hide.
Yeah, that would be a problem. The second option is an old Sabbat ritual.
Oh, I'm listening to this one. Go on.
See, as you're more new to this life, there's a thing amongst the Sabbat called the Valdery. Basically, the way this goes is there's a pack, a ductee, a preacher, part of that, or a priest, my mistake, priest, a ductee, and pack. There's a ritual with blood, and everybody drinks the blood. It breaks blood bonds, but it kinda causes a bond between you and everybody else. It's the way that the Sabbat ensured loyalty amongst the packs. Yeah. Just a fun thing that blood bonds don't work on me, but they tried. They tried a few times. And then there's option number 3. What can I say? My lineage is kind of unique, even for Malkavians.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the reason why I didn't want the wolf here. Because the wolf is still technically mortal. I could break that bond for you. All I need is a mouthful of your blood, little frenzy. I just gotta ride it out. That's all I need. But you would be free of your bond. You wouldn't have to worry about him being all up in your shit, so to speak.
So eloquently.
Yeah.
How you put it.
Well, what can I say? When it comes to him, I lose a grasp of more eloquent words. I would also probably get rid of every little piece of technology he's given you, and while you're at it, probably get away from every piece of property he's set up for you. He enjoys watching. He knows exactly where you are right now. Or he would. This place wasn't built like a Faraday cage. We have our tricks.
Give up a brand new studio, my gallery, my beautiful apartment.
It's your choice. You don't have to make the decision now. I do kind of think you need to do this. I know I wouldn't want to be bound to such a murderous and psychotic bastard as him, but everybody's different. Maybe, just maybe, that's your kink, that's your little thing. You enjoy that kind of power game.
Oh, you have no idea what I enjoy.
Nor do I want to know. I'm just offering you help.
So what, you drink some of my blood and then I'm free?
Yeah, once I'm done frenzying, I just gotta ride it out. You don't have to be here for that, obviously.
I would certainly hope I wouldn't have to be.
Well, I mean, you'd be fine. I start frenzying and looking for immortal blood to kind of purge myself, and all I ask for you is you just make him suffer. That's all you need to do. That's the only I said I would ask nothing of you, but I lied. Make him fucking suffer because he deserves it. He has ruined countless lives, kindred and kind alike. You know what? It'll be kind of fun seeing him turn to a pile of ash.
So what if he bonds with me again? What then? I somehow magically find you again and we do the whole...
So, the thing is, once that bond's broken, currently when he would show up and be like, feed from me, and you are compulsed to do so, right? Yeah, with that bond gone, he would be like, feed from me, and you could tell him to go fuck himself, and just walk away.
Oh, that sounds like that would be bad for me, but...
But that's also if he could find you.
True. Still sounds so simple, though. Too simple, to be honest.
Well, to be fair, that compound is pretty well reinforced.
And you know where Percy is. Oh, this is just fan-fucktastic. So, let me guess. You take a chomp, I run, tell them to run, and we're in the middle of goddamn nowhere.
Yeah. Kind of in the middle of nowhere, but that doesn't mean that you're totally in the middle of nowhere. Because when you leave, check Warehouse 3, throw open the big doors. There'll be a little gift for all of you. Nothing violent, just a way out of here. And not like a fiery way out of here, but like a actual, let's ride back into town way out of here. Plus you guys then get a car. So.
Do you have a room I can lock you in?
Lock me in? No. You see, I chose this place for a reason. It is far enough away that by the time I finish frenzying, I will most likely still be in the bonds. Oh, I forgot. So, yes, what we're going to do for this is you're going to have to chain me up, then feed me a mouthful of your blood. That's it. That's all. I'll be chained up. I can't go anywhere. I ride it out. You get a brand new car. It's not brand new, but it's brand new to you. You ride back into town. And you could go one of two places. You could go to Cavalier Cemetery, which is a place I mentioned where you can meet my old acquaintance, Alberto. Or you can see the preacher. Both are good, acceptable options.
Do you want to dispose my phone for me before we proceed?
Oh, you can leave it here. And to be fair, you're probably going to want to tell them that they want to destroy their phones as well.
Okay.
Including the dog.
I'll make sure that the dog destroys his phone too.
Yay. Alright. Ready to do this?
Well, if not now, then never, I guess.
Okay, alright. So Liefeld takes off his bandoliers. And then takes off his pouched waist belt. And sets them on the ground. He walks over to a back wall which looks like it had been reinforced. There are shackles hanging off of it. Chain length is about 5 feet. He does have some room to move, but it is tightly bound. The chaining is run around a very sturdy iron beam sticking from the ground.
Oh, I could have had so much more fun with this.
Oh, I know you could have. But I need to be facing you. How else am I going to feed?
So, where do you want to buy? Arm, wrist?
Well, probably what the best idea is going to be is you chain me up, and then you feed me from your wrist.
And then I run.
Then you pull your wrist from my mouth. I'll let you know when I'll nod when I've had enough. And then you leave. That's all.
I'm assuming you're going to get in touch with us again later.
Oh, of course. I have my ways. Probably use another one of his little minions to deliver my message. But that's because I love destroying the things he has, no matter how broken his toys may be.
Can I ask a favor of you, though?
Yes.
If you see Wes, can you get him away from here, please?
I shall try.
Thank you.
But I can't make any guarantees. For all I know, he might have looked into something and the cam already have him on their radar.
All right, let's get you chained up and get this show on the road.
So Evelyn carefully shackles Liefeld to the beam, making sure it's nice and secure. Liefeld lunges a little bit just to make sure that they're on tight enough, mildly scaring the shit out of her.
But surely that's not all the force you're going to put into it.
Oh, I just wanted to see if I can get a little jump scare out of you. You passed. Plus to make sure that these things were on properly. Though, being a child of Damien, I would expect them to be.
We're definitely going to have another chat later on about what you know.
About him?
There's so much I don't know and I don't remember.
Yeah. He's good at clouding things from his child.
Okay, you ready?
As ready as I'm gonna be.
See you later, I guess.
I'll always be watching. Not in a super creepy way, but I'll be watching to make sure things unfold the way they should. Just make him suffer.
I will. I'm just gonna, like, give him my non-dominant wrist, even though I know it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
My non-dominant wrist, hand, arm. Arm, hand, wrist.
Okay. What I would, so, essentially what you're going to do is you're going to probably use a nail, cut the wrist, and then bring it up to his mouth. You'll heal quick because you're a vampire.
I know, but it still doesn't sound pleasant.
Well, would you rather have him numb your wrist?
Maybe?
No.
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 Okay, fine. I'll do the good old slit wrist and basically hand it to him. That was a terrible pun.
You're arming it to him. I'll make a note of this. So Liefeld gets a mouthful of Evelyn's blood, tips his head back to kind of nod to acknowledge she can pull away. She then proceeds to take her wrist and lick the wound, which closes it relatively quick. Liefeld closes his eyes, swallows down, and just says, "And this is where you should be going. What's going to happen isn't pleasant."
Well, I'm going to back away out the door and then run towards them.
All right. As you leave, you hear grunting and screaming and the sound of chain against metal repeatedly.
Well, time to go, as I'm, like, hurrying my way towards them.
Can that be heard outside?
The screaming, yes.
Oh, okay.
Run up and skid to a stop. Okay, a few things. First of all of your phones need to disappear and we need to get new ones. Second of all, Warehouse 3, there's going to be something to get us the fuck out of here. And then we need to figure out where we're going. We have either Cavalier Cemetery, where we can meet his whoever the fuck it was, or we can go to, I'm assuming it was Charlotte he was talking about.
You're really lucky these don't cost more than $10.
I'll buy you a new one.
Bethany just
Goes ahead and just tosses the stupid flip phone to the ground.
Bethany just shrugs and does the same.
Plants and Switch, right? I just paid for it.
What about you, Purse? You're gonna get rid of your phone too?
It's a phone. They make millions of them a year.
Yeah, I don't exactly have the money to buy millions.
Percy's gonna take out a paperclip, and he's going to eject the SIM card out of his phone. Because his phone is not cheap.
Yeah, I don't think flip phones have those.
They do.
Usually
Under
right
the battery.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Bran doesn't know that, so, you know, he paid $10 for the phone. Whatever.
Percy's just gonna eye all of you while he takes the SIM card out and throws the SIM card away. And then
Actually, no, wait.
slide
He
back
paid
in.
$10 for the phone. Do that to mine.
Do we have time to remove all the SIM cards from all of our phones?
Do it in the car! Or whatever. It doesn't have to be done, like, right away. Happen along the way. Got it?
Percy will take Braun's phone and take the back off, pop the battery up, and press the SIM card in to eject it, and then throw it. And then put the battery back in, put the back on, and hand it over to Braun.
Do you not hear the screaming?
How much are SIM cards?
We should go.
They're very cheap. We need to leave before something
Now.
bad really happens. Yeah. So, warehouse 3, go, 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 go. I mean, we could toss the phones into the fire, sure.
Goes to warehouse 3.
Yeah, Bethany's following on, basically having already disposed of her phone. So,
Getting to warehouse 3, there's 2 big double doors. The building seems to be in a bit better shape.
Sorry, we are having a text debate on
Yeah,
stuff.
on-
hence the
on a
long silence.
On the flaming car, which is outside, and
How close is it to warehouse 3?
well, he crashed into warehouse 1.
Okay, so fairly close.
I mean, they're pretty big fucking warehouses.
Yeah. Fire's not going to spread to where Liefeld is, right?
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, time to try to get these doors open.
All right. So who's
Do the doors seem locked?
No, they're not locked.
Oh, okay.
Percy is so not strong enough to do this. He's
Yeah,
just gonna sit and watch.
Braun's gonna try and open the door.
Two to a door, come on. We can do this.
Bran will go for a door. Bran will go for a door.
I'll help you try to open a door.
I can make the joke that nobody, like, you guys have trouble opening the door, and then Darwin comes up and, like, just smacks you with his tail and the door opens.
Do that. Could do
I mean,
that.
I'm just gonna say this is a job that requires brawn, that's all.
Oh gosh, why did I give him that name?
Because.
Damn it, Ballin.
Because what?
I'll make a note of this.
Because you're a sadist.
Because Welsh.
I mean, is a roll required?
No, you guys open the door.
Oh,
No
okay.
problem.
I was gonna say because I can do that if it's needed.
Inside this warehouse is a singular vehicle. It's a 99 Camry. Champagne colored. It's large enough to fit all 5 of you.
I think you mean all 4 of us and the wolf.
No, because
Technically 5.
no, because when I say 4 of you, I catch shit for saying 4 because I forget the fucking wolf.
Aye. Aye.
So, the Ventrue can shut up. Okay, Percy, you drive, right?
I'm capable of driving.
Perfect. You get to drive us the fuck out of here.
Better than me.
All right. So as you guys enter the vehicle, this is going to serve as a great time for us to take a quick 15-minute break. We can kind of stretch out, get rehydrated, and the like. We shall be back with more Nashville by Night momentarily. Well, I say momentarily, but in a few minutes. See you guys then. Alright, and we are coming back from our little break. Thank you everybody for kind of hanging out with us. I do appreciate that immensely. So, where we left off was they got the Camry to catch people up on everything that's happened. They visited Percy at the compound and then proceeded to be driven by a gentleman to a warehouse, a cluster of warehouses, where he proceeded to drive his van into one of them, setting himself and the vehicle on fire. They met Liefeld, the Malkavian, who has now officially broken Damien's hold on Evelyn. He also provided them with a vehicle to get back into town.
So, where do we go first? Church or cemetery?
Anybody know how to get to either of them from here?
I haven't the faintest idea.
On the dashboard, there is a GPS.
I mean, I suppose you could always use your phone search engine and... Oh, wait.
Yeah, about that.
Percy's gonna pull the car over to the side of the road and type in the name of the cemetery that he was given by Artemis.
So, Cavalier Cemetery it is, from the looks of it.
Might as well hit there first.
How many hours do we have left until daylight?
You have 4 hours until daylight.
Alright, let's go.
Once plugged in and it pops up, Percy will start following the GPS.
Percy, can I stay with you for a few days until I find a new place? Maybe. I mean, Caden's already there. I can go get a new dog bowl and dog stuff and probably eventually be out of your hair. Maybe soon. I don't know. But I need a new place to stay.
When I invited you all to stay there, it was an open invitation. You're still welcome.
I promise not to have Caden piddle on any of your electronics, and I promise not to push any weird buttons. Unless one happens to be like an ejector out of your fucking zombie goddamn fortress.
there is absolutely nothing wrong with being prepared.
For the zombie apocalypse, which will probably never happen.
I was thinking more along the lines of, SI, but sure.
Oh, let's face it, the dead aren't coming back, dear. Of course. Perfectly right.
No, that's absurd.
Oh, I get it. You guys are funny. So funny. And also, I do attend parties. Thank you very much.
I wouldn't exactly call showings parties.
So little that you know.
So do we have a name for this contact we're supposed to be meeting here at the cemetery?
If I remember correctly, he said that the person's name was Alberto. Though I'm still very curious about what he deals in, and also kind of scared. So, it's been an interesting night so far.
Well, he said that he deals in information.
Not like I have a lot of information to give.
Are we supposed to just let that go by? I'm just wondering.
Let what go?
You know what? Never mind. You two continue.
What?
So, do we have even the foggiest of what we're going to be getting when we get to this graveyard?
Not a clue.
Wonderful. And we've pretty much burned our largest bridge possible? Judging by your needing to stay somewhere, I'm assuming that someone's going to be hunting you in the places you would normally go.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to lay low for a while from the sounds of it. And he is not going to be very happy when he finds me, also from the sounds of it.
Well, I wish to welcome you all to how it feels to be one of us.
What do you mean, how it feels to be one of us?
Of the Ministry. Looked at with suspicion. Treated as a pariah. It's going to be such wonderful fun.
You have the most caring words in the darkest of times.
I'd like to point out, I'm a Ventru, and I've been with the Anarchs for the past 10 years.
Oh, so what about before that? Because I know you're older than 10.
I was under the thumb of the Cam.
And you said you've been here for how long now?
Give or take, 30 years.
So at one point, this was Camarilla territory, and then stuff happened, and now here we are in this weird limbo.
Oh, no. This was Sabbat territory. when I got here.
You came to Sabat territory under the Camarilla.
Yep.
Did you have a death wish?
Yulia's a sadistic bitch.
Oh, I wonder how she compares to Damien then.
You guys pull up to the gates of Cavalry Cemetery. The gates are chained shut.
Are they climbable?
Yes.
Well, time to put those non-existent climbing abilities to work. I'm going to hop out of the car as soon as it comes to a stop and check out the gate. Can I also use Sense the Unseen again?
Yeah. Just do a roll.
Do a roll. Okay. Where's my thing? There's my thing. No modifiers?
No modifiers, no.
Hey.
Does the chain look like it could be broken? Just curious. Like, does it look like a particularly strong chain?
It looks like a standard chain you would get at a hardware store.
Like a thick one, or different?
It's
Like a bike chain, or
not like a super thick chain, but not flimsy like a bike chain. So it's kind of that middle ground.
Okay.
Do you think there's any bolt cutters in the back of this here car?
There are not. There's a
Is
tire
there any-
iron.
I mean, might be useful. Well, could come in handy. So am I sensing anything with Sense the Unseen?
Not currently.
Walls. Okay, who wants to help me climb the Gate of Death?
I have an idea. So, Storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
I have some paper clips on me.
All right.
How possible is it to use said paper clips to just pick the lock?
Let me...
The roll is dexterity and security
You could try it.
in the past, but security is no longer a skill.
So it would be Dex and Larceny.
Okay, so for me it's just a straight dex roll.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say I'll let this.
One success?
Not good enough.
Question: seeing that, like, did that ruin the paper clips? Just curious.
One of them is jammed in the lock.
Okay, so the fact that I have larceny probably, would it be too messed up to try now?
Yeah, it's a little jammed
Okay.
up. You're not going to be able to get something in there.
I too have a point in larceny, and I'm assuming that there is no hope whatsoever to unfuck the lock that the Ventrue fucked.
No.
God damn it.
Nice job.
Way to go, Ventrue! Okay, so is there a low point in? I'm assuming it's like enclosed in like stone walls.
Yeah, so there are stone walls. The stone walls around the gate are about 8 feet.
Fuck.
But the gate itself extends up 12. So it's kind of that
Also,
arch.
fuck. Well, I mean, I could use my stripper abilities to climb the pole. Just saying.
Do you want to do that?
And hopefully not impale myself or fall. Yes, I would like to try to climb the fucking gate. Go on, Ray.
No, I'll wait and see how this plays out.
Okay, never was too terribly good with heights, but here we go anyway.
So I'm gonna need you to roll Dex Athletics. So it's just gonna be basically just a straight Dex roll.
Alright, straight Dex roll coming right up. No modifiers?
No modifiers. No.
Hey, 2 successes.
Okay, that is enough for you to kind of shimmy your way up. On the top of the stone walls, you notice little spikes to kind of keep people from getting in or out.
Mm-hmm.
But you safely clear that.
Great.
So Evelyn is inside the cemetery now. Everybody else is on the outside.
What could go wrong? Do I still have Sense the Unseen going?
Yes, you do.
Like, how long does that last?
That will last for the scene. So.
Okay.
Are the keys still in the car or not?
They are.
Okay.
Well, unless they should be, because nobody said they took them out.
So, Bethany is going to get into the car. She pulls up alongside the wall,
Shite.
gets out of the car, carefully climbs up on top of the car, and uses it to climb up over the wall.
Yeah, that's gonna work.
No, why didn't I think of that? Oh wait, I wanted to fucking show off.
You might as well make use of the car while it's there.
Percy will follow Bethany's lead.
Yep.
Now, don't forget to take the keys out of the car when you're done with it.
So everybody's in the cemetery now.
Yeah.
So they kind of they don't know what they're looking for. So there's supposed to be somebody there. Obviously, they don't see anybody there.
Is there like a main building or anything? Like
there is a building off in the distance.
mortuary? Is that?
Yeah, there is one off in the distance. Though there are a bunch of smaller little mausoleums and headstones throughout. There is no light in the building that you can see anyway.
So if I was a Nazi, where would I be?
Most likely in one of the mausoleums.
So, where do we want to start? Besides the mausoleums.
You see a shape kind of tear between two mausoleums. About 50 feet away.
That might be who we're looking for, and I'm just gonna start chasing.
Oh, because that's smart.
Probably not.
Alright. I was just checking your disciplines to see if there was something that should be using, but you don't have it, so. But you are moving pretty quick. You are catching up, closing the distance rather quickly. You do make it to the mausoleum. You saw the shape duck behind.
Bran is going to be following behind Evelyn.
Bethany is not going to Scooby-Doo, and thus will stick with the others.
Percy is just standing by the wall where they went over, watching this all transpire.
Bran and Evelyn hear a voice. Saying, "Why are you following me?"
Well, you see, we had somebody ask that we come by and talk to somebody and maybe exchange some information.
No, I'm actually following her. More like...
Who sent?
Liefeld?
And you're sure it was Liefeld?
Malkavian, switched feet, tons of pockets, possibly?
Probably.
Okay. I didn't even know he was in town, and I know most things.
You should have heard him cackle about how clever he was. He's very proud of himself.
Wouldn't put it past the old pack mate. Though he was not really part of the pack, couldn't take part in the Valdery, but whatever.
He told me he was bondless.
Yeah, it kind of pissed off a lot of us back then.
So, does that mean that you know Damien too?
I have the unfortunate pleasure knowing that rat bastard.
Oh. So many people know so many things about him. Well done.
I feel like that's an insult to rats, too.
Just a little bit.
At this, Percy will go over to them now that they've stopped running about like, chickens with their heads cut off.
Too bad we didn't have yakety sax going.
Yeah, I don't want this to get flagged.
So these two are with us. I point behind myself to Bethany and to Percy. My name is Artemis. This is Bran. This is Duan, this is Bronze Wolf. And that's Bethany back there, and that's Percy. And we were given the option to either come here or go elsewhere for information.
Well, if it's information you seek, it's one thing that me and mine are good at.
So I've heard.
There's a reason the Nazis always been in high demand. We can find all the dirty little secrets out and share them for a price. You know, whether it's to Camarilla clans, Sabbat clans, Anarchs, Independents, you know, like the Giovanni. They have a lot of skeletons. And a penchant for raising the dead.
Oh, so the dead do come back to life. Anyways. You hush. Mr. Giggling Ventru. So what kind of currency do you deal with?
Depends on what you want to know.
What do you know about the murders, the questionable murders that have been taking place lately?
Well, what I do know will cost.
Not surprising. What is it going to cost, though?
How far removed are you?
Like, generationally?
Yes.
Oh, was it 12th? I think.
Okay. And you?
Which one?
Bron.
I think Bron had to step away for a hot second.
Silent type.
I like that now.
Well, it has been a while since I've had any vitae. Occasional little Satanist kids come in here, ooh, we're gonna go and do some ritual, you know, it's easy pickings. And the blood's alright, I guess. But I haven't had vampire vitae in quite some time. Used to get fed it regularly when I was part of a pack, but that's those days are long behind me. And
what's your preferred?
Well, you see, for me, I really like something with more of a it's been a while. Usually it's just whatever I can get, and now I get to choose. This is rather interesting. Rather interesting. Let's just kind of just think about what you really want to know, and I'll just name my price afterwards. Sound fair?
Price up front.
See, usually we give the price up front. Usually. But I feel that it may be a little bit better to kind of... Because you can't really trust me. I've openly just said that I used to be Sabbat.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you trust me?
Exactly.
Which is why I'm willing to give up my part first.
Okay.
That doesn't seem to be in your best interest.
What
I'm
do you,
not going to argue.
what do you mean it's not in my best interest?
Also say we don't just run.
Because I can run faster than you.
Got a point there.
He's not wrong. Also, Alberto,
Mm-hmm.
I trust you more than I do the cam.
Well, considering I'm not openly hunting Ventru that decide to stray away from the Camarilla.
As I said, I trust you more than the cam.
Yeah. So what do you want to know?
Any idea what the tag found near the bodies means?
What did the tag look like?
Looked like an L with blood coming off it. Seemed to be a calling card.
Yeah, I may know a thing about the symbol, not the reason it's being used now. That
I don't care about the reason why it's being used now. I just want information as to what it could be.
that was one of the signs used by one of the many packs out of Texas. If I'm not mistaken, more of a border city. Forget exactly where. But that pack's been long gone.
So it could just be scare tactics then.
Possibly.
Or an old member.
Possibly. Or it could be somebody setting up a false lead for people to follow.
Do you know anything about the previous members?
Yeah, actually, there's only one of them that's still alive.
And who would that be?
That would... Oh... She's gonna fucking kill me if she found this out. So that... She was, if she isn't still, very high up the Sabat food chain.
Like, how high up?
Like the right hand of the leader, the Sabat. She worked her way up.
Well then.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, her pack used that symbol when she was running the streets.
Any idea whether or not she might be in town?
If she isn't, this will be definitely something that would draw her out, though.
So, possible trap for her, possible setup, possible scare tactic.
And if Miss Vargas gets word of this, it's not going to be pretty. Not pretty at all.
Do you know of anyone who else would have known that she was in that pack?
There was a Toreador. I know what name he's using currently. He was a real vicious bastard.
Got a nickname or anything for this real vicious bastard?
No, he got called so many different things over the years. I mean, at one point they called him Ripper, Slasher, Murder Artist.
I have a pretty good idea as to who that Toreador is. He's a mutual acquaintance of ours.
But
I mean, you said it yourself that you knew Damien.
He didn't send you, did he?
No.
No, Liefeld sent us.
We already told you who sent us.
Liefeld's the one that clued us into the fact that Damien had the joyous nickname of Ripper.
That's the name he's wearing now. That's actually a very interesting bit of information.
I don't know if that's necessarily the name he's using now, but that's the name that I just heard him called, so...
Well, I'm talking about calling him Damien, because I was not privy to this name being used.
Would that be interesting enough to be your price?
I may be able to, from that information you gave me, because I'm still very parched, and, I mean, Vitae would be delicious right now. And not a lot, I mean, just like a chalice full. You know, that's all I ask. No big deal.
How big of a chalice?
Just maybe, I don't know, a standard wine glass size chalice, like just a couple ounces. No big deal.
I think I'm capable of providing the Vitae.
But because you did provide me with a name for somebody that I do know people that are looking for him under old aliases, obviously.
And you also have the information that he's here.
Is he? Ooh,
He is in Nashville.
That is actually quite delicious. So, give me some Vitae. You have the initial information, and then I'll let you ask 2 more questions of me. With the information you provided me, I believe that would be a fair bargain.
Got a blade?
He kind of raises his hand, and his nails are like gnarled and clawed. Don't need one.
Percy will hold his wrist out. Go for it.
Okay. So he slices the wrist and kind of just lets the blood kind of start flowing. proceeds to put his head underneath the dripping blood with his mouth wide open, his gnarled visage just staring up as the blood drips into his mouth.
Percy, you do remember I carry a knife, yes?
You didn't give it up for him, though. So if he had remembered, he probably would have asked you, and clearly he didn't, so therefore, now we are in this weird display.
Well, I suppose you live and learn then, don't you?
Hey, dinner and a show.
Not the worst thing I've been subjected to.
That I don't doubt.
A medic. I haven't had that in quite some time. That does really hit the spot. So, your questions. What 2 little things do you want for the information you traded to me?
Huh. Do you know what vampires have been killed lately?
There's been a whole mess of them.
Great.
There's been some Anarchs and some Cam. Nothing major. Standard. It seemed standard warfare.
What's not so standard about it?
Well, from what I've gathered, you would expect it's maybe the young blood. You know, them getting their heads kicked in for overstepping a line or something like that. These are older ones. These are ones that have been
old?
Some of them are 150 to 400 years old.
Very old ones.
Yeah. I mean, there's been some younglings thrown in, but...
No real connection between any of them?
No, not really. Kinda seems random.
Huh.
There have been reports in very public places, though. Places that may or may not have surveillance, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Places that may or may not feed directly in with law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
So not random in the least.
They're random, but they're not. It seems that way.
I mean, if they're targeting potential elder-worthy kindred, as well as younglings, can't be all that random.
Well...
And they have to be good.
Perhaps.
I mean, you don't take down a 400-year-old kindred by chance.
You're not wrong. As for your last question,
what's the likelihood that Damien's behind all this?
I wouldn't put it past him. When he was Sabbat, he was very ambitious.
That's
Very
the impression I got from Liefield.
Very brutal. Loved to make examples of people. He also loved breaking his children. He loved keeping them bloodbound until their will completely snapped, and then he wouldn't need to bind them anymore. He would just be able to say the word, any word, jump, walk in front of a train, attack that person, bring me a new painting, bring me a new specimen to make into a masterpiece, and they would do it. Dance for me. He just had to say the word to his, as he put it, broken toys. He did it in the Sabbat, and if he's doing that now, if he's around now, you sure as hell know that he's planning to do it again if he hasn't already.
While all that was being said, Percy was just looking sideways at Artemis.
Keep staring and you won't be able to use those eyes anymore.
I should probably be going.
As should we.
But before you go, I will give you one piece of advice. Anybody that stands between him and his toys, he has a tendency to make disappear. So if you're planning on going up against him to unravel everything that he's wrought, be extra careful.
Knowing that you may pass on the information that he's in the area, and that he goes by Damien now, should suffice for me.
Alberto proceeds to obfuscate and leave.
I'm just gonna say thank you to the open air and then just like turn around and walk off.
You still have Sense the Unseen.
I do.
So you could still technically see him.
True. So what, do you want me to follow him?
No, I'm just saying, like, you can still see
No, but
him.
you can see him to thank him.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair. That's right. Right. Got it.
To the rest.
Right. Okay, so now that we've gotten in here, how the fuck do we get back out?
Well, presumably we're going to get in some way that I hadn't counted on. But I got us in here, and I can't be expected to think of everything.
I would assume we go back out the same way we came in, over the wall.
Going over an 8-foot wall.
There's absolutely a car on the side.
I'd like to point out, I'm almost 6 feet tall.
Yeah, Bran
Touch the top
is
of the wall.
Bran is absolutely 6 feet tall. Bran can also touch the top of the wall.
Well, I can't wait to see
what Bran was going to offer to do. Like get down until Evelyn, like, and have like Evelyn stand on his shoulders, but Evelyn decided to scale the
gate, yeah.
The gate, but you know, semantics.
Yeah, well, you know, I can always climb back over and try not to impale myself on the way back.
All right. So I'm going to just assume that you guys make it over the wall safely.
Sure.
I mean,
Thank you.
Percy, I'm assuming Percy and Bran would be, like, sitting on top of the wall, like, hands down.
You wouldn't want to be sitting on the top of the wall.
No. I would assume the best way to do it would be to get down, have the girls stand on their shoulders, hoist them over the wall, and then very carefully pull themselves up over, trying not to get spiked. Because it was said by the storyteller there are spikes on the walls.
Yes.
Yeah.
She won't want you to get all butthurt.
Yes. That is a great way of putting it.
But I'm cool with storyteller assuming we make it over safely.
Yeah. As you get back to the Camry, there is a piece of paper under the windshield wiper.
Percy's gonna pick it up and look at it.
The piece of paper plainly says, "I have what you're looking for, but not tonight. We shall meet face to face." And that's all it says.
Well, that's cryptic as fuck.
Does anyone know what thing we're supposed to be looking for that they could have?
Most likely, Lydia.
Yeah, it's either Lydia
Why
or...
was that not our second question? Just curious.
Not gonna lie, I completely forgot about it.
You're the one flirting with her all the time.
Honestly, I think the second question that was asked was far more important than that one.
Because we couldn't infer that on our own.
It's nice to have it confirmed.
It's not even confirmed. He's also just assuming things.
His educated guess is far better than ours.
He's known him longer. A lot longer.
Ron's just gonna kind of throw his arms up in the air and shake his head.
Seems to be a pattern with him. And knowing that there's a pattern is useful.
Because getting the nickname Ripper, Slasher, Murder Artist isn't enough of a pattern.
It's more so the pattern of ruthless efficiency towards a goal. That's the interesting part.
How much more time do we have before sunrise?
3 hours.
Why don't we just go meet this other guy?
Because it says not tonight.
We don't know who this is from. We don't know if this is not the other guy. It could be some random person that's not signed.
It also doesn't have an address, so how are we supposed to meet this person?
It's also written in blood.
Oh, lovely. That's just great.
And the pastor or priest or whoever we're supposed to meet, I don't remember if are they mortal or are they...
They're a member of the
kindred.
Setite ministry.
Remember this? Okay, so does that mean if it's written in blood, it's probably from them, or... I don't know if I'm supposed to be inferring that it's the priest.
No.
By saying that it's written in blood.
No. It's not the priestess.
Okay.
So, what are you guys doing?
Bran has made his suggestion.
And that's what? To go to the church?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I believe we should go to the church, but not for the reason why you suggest. We will get more information, but I don't think that Lydia is going to be there.
That's not what I...
About how far away from the church driving are we? Storyteller?
About 20 minutes.
Okay.
And it's only because of the windy-ass fucking weird one-way roads.
Yeah. And then probably another 40 minutes from the church to Percy's.
Yeah.
Alright, so if we're gonna do this, going to see your friend Bethany, then we should do so quickly because we only have a couple hours before sunrise, and it's gonna take us almost an hour to get back to my place.
Certainly. We should go to see my colleague, yes.
Alright. Let's be on our way then.
All
Plug
right.
it into the GPS and take off.
Okay. You guys are driving for a while, and you notice a lot of police activity tonight. Like, a lot more than usual.
Seems like business has picked back up.
When you're about 5 minutes away from the church, 4 police cars and 2 fire trucks pass you by. Sirens blaring.
Oh, hell.
This doesn't bode well.
No, not even slightly. There is no way that's a coincidence.
Can't be.
As you get close to the church, you notice the roads are blocked off. There are 5 fire trucks around the building. There's also multiple cop cars, couple ambulances, and the smoldering remains of what was the esoteric Order of Seth.
We're not going to be asking any questions tonight.
No, and if we stick around too much longer, we're going to be the one answering questions.
We're evading them. Either way, we should go.
Agreed. back to the compound then.
Unless you have any other better ideas.
Not with daybreak so close.
It's as good a destination as any right now.
Alright, back to the compound.
As you go to make your U-turn, you do see the L spray painted on a wall.
Make note of that. Seems like we won't be asking any questions of your associate, Bethany.
No, but whoever did this, I would like a word with them.
You may have your chance. Enough. Then just head back to the compound.
So pulling up to, time passes, obviously. Pulling up to the gates of the compound, you see a body strung up at the gate. The body is wearing full military, private military gear. And a note around his neck saying, "You owe me one."
Doesn't anyone leave any normal notes anymore?
Apparently not.
To be fair, they couldn't just text us.
You're not wrong.
Oh, who won?
So, what do we do with Mr. Dead Body here on the,
You all go inside, I'll take care of it.
So just walk on in?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm gonna give
Go
this.
punch the code into the gate.
I'm gonna give this one to you, Percy. You notice, because you picked up the note from the windshield wiper, that the handwriting on both of them are the same.
Okay. Who do I owe something? Because... Also, why private military? Why here? Good think on.
So we are just gonna dispose of the body.
Yeah, buried in the yard somewhere.
Oh yeah, because that's not fucking,
Later on, Dorn digs it up.
Exactly. Just bring it in, have best dead on it for a few days. It'll be fine.
All right. So while you're digging a hole,
Yeah.
the rest of them are now inside the compound, getting acclimated to their new surroundings.
Well, it took him long enough, but he got us all here like he wanted.
True. Suppose I can try to find Caden.
Bran is pretty much standing right by the door. Just kind of waiting for Percy to come in.
Caden comes, like, kind of like doing that little corgi hop run thing that they do. That's
Oh,
adorable.
there you are. I'm so sorry I left you alone for so long.
And he just kind of looks at you like, oh my god, you're back. I thought you were gone forever. The thing that dog, no matter what, like, you could be gone 5 minutes and the dog will do the same shit.
I thought you were going to leave me forever and never and never, and I was so worried, and you're back, and I'm so happy.
Oh.
When it gets to about the hour mark before dawn, Percy's just gonna call it quits on the digging and just toss the body in and fill it back up.
Percy makes it back in about 15 minutes before daybreak.
Shite.
Thank God I have this button. And he hits the button by the door and all the big metal slats come down and then all the windows, the concrete folds in on hydraulics.
Well, I was originally planning to ask for a new card thing for my phone so I could leave. Can I get one for tomorrow so I can be gone then?
We'll get you a new SIM tomorrow night. For now, rest easy. Make yourselves at home.
Resting
Percy's
easy
gonna go-
in a stranger's home is not going to be an idea.
And Percy's gonna go lay the fuck down.
I'm not so much worried about the stranger's home part as I am the everyone seems to know our whereabouts and is out to get us part, but that's a worry for tomorrow night.
Yeah, you know, nothing
That's the
scary
thing,
about
too.
that bit.
Thing too.
I guess I'm gonna find somewhere to cuddle up with Hayden and sleep.
Before actually going to bed, Percy's gonna get in contact with his friend.
The human friend.
Yeah,
Okay.
the human friend. And get two new SIM cards and 2 new cell phones for the 2 that destroyed theirs. That too.
Okay.
And then have that waiting when we all get up for the night.
Well, one of those phones is going to be an iPhone. The other phone will be like a cheap, like ZTE, done up like a Hello Kitty phone. So, because that's all he can get. I mean, he can only get one good phone.
That's fine. I'll let them fight over who gets what. Yeah, the SIM cards are kind of important too.
Yeah. But anyway, that is going to wrap us up for episode 2. Noddist your head. Nashville by night. I'd like to thank each and every one of you who have enjoyed this, the second episode. We should be back sooner rather than later for our next installment. And yes, you can go to the subreddit, reddit.com, whack Precipice Podcast. Follow the stuff there. Also, there is a Discord for this game as well. You can join there. For Moriarty, for Anubis, for DorkyRae, and for Thrabalen of Thrabalen Gaming. I wish you all a good night, kindred. Sleep easy.